And welcome into Making Sense. You know, you've heard something that if a person goes out and takes a student loan and they borrow as much as $100,000 for their education, they better have one heck of a job when they graduate. Otherwise, they'll probably never see that loan go away. Kind of sounds like the federal government. We're in debt and we're wondering, is this debt ever going to go away? More importantly, for our audience, we're wondering what it's going to do to this wonderful thing that we've had for many years called Social Security. My guest is Brandt McDonald, the principal at McDonald, Barranco, and Hagen Wealth Management.
Right.
You guys have, your firm has been in business, what now, for about 17 years, is it?
I started the firm in April of '98 after,
Okay.
after 10 years of being with other traditional firms.
Right.
And essentially the whole reason for this is that we wanted to be independent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we really did not want to be beholden to people in New York or wherever they may be trying to tell us what we should or shouldn't do. At the end of the day, it's about our customers and about our clientele. And so being independent affords us to provide objective advice, and that's the really important thing.
And that's the way it's the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly
Well,
right.
you know, headlines every day, and it's the big fight. We were in debt, and when you get into the trillions, I guess the big thing in the government, they say, oh, $1 million here, $1 million there, doesn't. But $1 million is a lot of money. $1 billion is a lot of money.
Right.
And $1 trillion is a heck of a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and currently I think the U.S. debt levels stand around $17.5 trillion or close to that, and going up every day. I think that one of the big misnomers out there is that everyone says, how can we continue to go into debt? And it's not really the debt. One interesting little fact, you know, most people don't realize, but our U.S. Federal Reserve actually owns roughly $3.5 trillion of treasuries. And so over the last couple of years, yes, the debt has gone up, but our Federal Reserve has been the one who has acquired that debt through the creation of new money. So it's not, here in the last couple of years, it's not really been the debt level that's been the issue. It's been the idea that all this new money is in the system. What is that doing to our purchasing power?
Right.
What is that doing to, inflation prospects going forward? And so that's been the real big issue there. And I think that, when I speak, Jack, a lot of times probably the most important question I get asked by people in the audience is, when do you think that this debt level will bring down our country, and what impact do you think this is going to have on my ability to live every day?
Well, not only us, but our children and grandchildren. That seems to be the thing.
That's right.
What are you saddling your grandchildren with?
That's right. And so when we step back and we analyze this, because we do quite a bit of research at our firm, again, from where I sit, I don't see the debt as being the big issue. The bigger issue is you have to really think this through. What is happening to the value of our dollar? What is happening to purchasing power? And you don't want to get too complex with this, but the dollar is a U.S. world reserve currency. So we don't really feel or see it, the inflation or the dramatic impact of a debasing of currency like other countries around the world might see. Because most Americans trade in dollars. Even if you're an import-export business, you're still trading in dollars for the most part, so you're not getting hit too bad. But I think the biggest issue there is people on fixed income. Those are the ones who are really getting hit the hardest with this. And so people ask me, what's going to happen to my Social Security, because that's one of those unfunded liabilities, and people say, yes, it's $17.5 trillion in debt, but what about all these other liabilities that are on the books, whether it's Medicaid or Medicare rather, or in Social Security? And unfortunately, and we've seen this tried time and time again, one way that you get out of debt is you debase your own currency. And when you do that, you're able to pay back your debt with cheaper currency. And who are the biggest lenders to the United States government here in America? It's Social Security recipients.
Right.
And so for years and years, essentially, when you follow the math, these individuals have essentially lent money to the federal government through their paycheck
Right.
year after year.
Deduction from their paycheck.
That's correct.
Right.
And with the express purpose of this idea that I'm going to get a promised payback when I retire someday. And
Almost like an annuity.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is. It's an annuity stream
Absolutely,
of payments. That's
absolutely.
exactly correct. And so when they start to receive their Social Security, the question then becomes, how much will that buy? What's the purchasing power of the Social Security
Absolutely.
payment? Here's my opinion. There is no politician in America who is going to go on record as saying that they're going to cut Social Security payments. They're not going to do it. They can't afford to do it. But here's the bigger question. The bigger question is the government really paying you in real dollars, or are they paying you in nominal dollars? There's a big difference between that. So technically, in my view, it's almost like the government really is sort of in default already.
Right.
Because the way you get out of debt is you hold the line on your debt level payments, and then as the dollar begins to come down in value and you reflate assets over here on the other side, you have a higher tax base to tax into on real assets, and then you're paying back these debts with cheaper money. And so I would submit that between this money exercise that the Federal Reserve System has gone through, combined with the idea that at some point in the future they're going to means test Social Security, I think it's going to be a really, really tough hoe for a lot of people who are on Social Security. So to be clear, the Social Security payment is going to stay the same. It will be there for Social Security recipients. But the question is what's it going to buy? And that's the bigger question.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
Well, I appreciate that. And just remember this, your Social Security is there to help you, but in many cases, Social Security is used for a lot of things it was not designed to do. Talk to your legislators about that, and we'll be right back right after this.